It's me, I'm back. My name is Mo, I'm your host here at Ritualistically Botanica. I want to talk to you about moon gestation families and eclipse families. Did you know they had families? Let's talk about it. I want to make this useful though, because technical astrology is lovely, but eventually somebody sitting there listening is going to say, that's fascinating, Mo, but what the hell does it have to do with me? Fair question. Take out your phone, open your photographs, your memory. Your memory may be there like a lazy dog, refusing to move, but your pictures will tell on you. So go back to February 27th of 2025. Don't worry about that exact date. Look at the week surrounding it. What were you doing? Who were you with? What had your attention? What desire, dissatisfaction, or possibility was quietly entering your life? That Pisces new moon was the conception point of this lunar family that this eclipse is taking place in. Yes, moons have families. I can tell you what was happening for me. It was about spiritual identity and authenticity. I was doing one-on-one readings at festivals and events and individually. There was nothing wrong with that work, but quietly, internally, I already knew it wasn't where I wanted to remain. I was wrestling with brand identity, but it was deeper than deciding what colors to use or what to call the damn thing. Who was Ritualistically Botanica? More importantly, who was I becoming inside of it? What did I genuinely want to teach? What kind of work did I want to leave behind? Where was I positioning myself? And was I still willing to settle for work that no longer represented the full size of what I wanted to create? The North Node had just entered Pisces. The invitation was unmistakable. Follow the metaphysical work, but stop assuming that metaphysical work had to mean sitting beneath a tent reading cards for strangers all weekend. That was the seed. Now go to November 28th of 2025. Again, open your photographs. Look at the people, the rooms, the vibes, the celebrations, and look at what is no longer there. That was the first quarter moon in Pisces, and it was square the sun in Sagittarius. The dream encountered its first developmental test. I was still doing festivals at that time and readings, but my great-grandson and his parents had moved into my home. This beautiful little new life completely consumed me. He and I formed a bond that remains profound. My focus shifted toward family, intimacy, and actually living my life. I began withdrawing from a world built around acquaintances, events, and constant interaction with adults. And I'll do it again, I'm sure. There's nothing wrong with it, but it was just the time that I needed. But something more meaningful was happening inside my own home. Sagittarius also brought its promise of movement and travel. My daughter offered me an all-expenses-paid trip to Puerto Rico as a belated birthday gift. We missed the plane in March because apparently even blessings occasionally require competent airport navigation. But we finally went in May and had a wonderful time. Again, family, love, inspiration, spirituality. The dream was expanding, but it was also being tested. What did freedom mean now? What did meaningful work mean? What was worth leaving home for, and what was worth staying home to protect? And now we arrive at tonight, the full moon eclipse in Pisces, opposite the sun in Virgo. Pisces dreamed it, Sagittarius tested it, Virgo has arrived asking for the receipts. And I have receipts. I have one book published, another being edited for publication, self-publishing, and 3 more waiting to be written. Actually, final edit. They're all in draft form right now. I have begun monetizing my work through Substack and other social media outlets. The money is still a trickle, but a trickle is not nothing. A trickle means the channel has opened. I have moved beyond simply giving read. My work has expanded from tarot into astrology, but tarot on a much deeper level. Metaphysical history, psychology, architecture of thought, and the enormous question of how consciousness shapes a life. That's where I have been pulled into. And that is what Virgo wants to know, not whether you dreamed beautifully. Pisces can dream beautifully while lying face down in a puddle. Virgo wants to know whether you did the work. What exists tonight that did not exist in February of 2025? What have you built? What has become real? What has been revealed about the difference between the life you imagined and the life you are actually constructing? Then take one final step. Move forward to May 28th of 2027. There are no photographs yet because this is where you become purposeful. The moon will return to early Pisces for its last quarter phase of this particular lunar family. It doesn't end tonight, it ends in May. The moon will return to early Pisces then for its last quarter phase, square the sun in Gemini, and Gemini will ask you to name the journey differently. What story will you tell about what happened? What knowledge will you organize, write, teach, or publish? What identity will no longer fit you? What must be edited, released, or named so the wisdom can travel forward? And I'm using writing and publishing as an example here, but it could be whatever project it is that you're involved in. My intention is to arrive there with certain things completed. This platform, I hope to expand it and have a clearer understanding of myself, not merely as somebody who reads, but as a writer, teacher, storyteller, and researcher of the metaphysical architecture of the mind. Here's the personal lunar map. February 2025, what was conceived? November of 2025, what was tested and required action? Tonight, what has been revealed and where are the receipts? And on May 2027, what do you intend to complete, revise, release, or rename? Now, don't confuse that with the eclipse's other family. See, eclipses also have families. What we just talked about was just the moon's gestation. It usually takes 27 months for that cycle to take place. There are 9 months between the time that a new moon opens up a new family, and then you reach the first quarter, that's 9 months. And after that first quarter, you get to the next 9 months. And then the next 9 months brings you to the grand finale. Eclipses also have family, and those are called Saros, Saros series. Saros is not an acronym, and it is not SOAR, although the damn thing does travel through history. Tonight's eclipse belongs to Lunar Saros 138. NASA's eclipse catalog traces this family back to October 15th of 1521. But when that's adjusted to the Gregorian calendar, it actually lands on October 30th of 1521, which ironically makes it a witchy Scorpio beginning. When it began with a faint penumbral eclipse that barely touched the outer edge of Earth's shadow. The family contains 82 eclipses and will live for approximately 1,460 years, finally ending with another faint penumbral eclipse on March 30th of 2982. It'll end in Aries, both ruled by Mars. Tonight's eclipse is number 29 of 82, so it's not even at the halfway mark. It's a young adult. So this family is nowhere near death. It is still developing. It began with 22 penumbral eclipses, little whispers at the edge of the shadow. Then it produced 7 partial eclipses, each moving more deeply into Earth's umbra. Tonight is the 7th and final eclipse in that first partial sequence. The next member arriving on September 7th of 2044 will be a total eclipse. Do you see what tonight represents? Astronomically, this is the last partial eclipse before this family crosses into totality. Symbolically, and I am clearly labeling this as interpretation, we are standing at a threshold. The process is no longer merely brushing against the shadow. It is preparing to enter it completely. Every member of Saros 138 occurs at the moon's ascending node. Each relative returns approximately 18 years, 11 days, and 8 hours after the one before it, because the sun, earth, moon, and lunar nodes return to very similar geometry. That geometry is the family resemblance. It does not mean every member occurs in Pisces. Saros 138 is not a Pisces bloodline. Tonight, this ancient eclipse bloodline is expressing itself through Pisces, through the Arabian fixed star Fomalhaut, and through our enormous cosmic mermaid. Its previous appearance was August 16th of 2008. And there's another date for your investigation. Go back to August of 2008. Look through your photographs, emails, or old documents. Where were you? What was changing? What was becoming unstable? What shadow entered your life then that you can understand differently now? Don't force the events to match. They are siblings, not identical twins. Look at a rhyme, not a photocopy. So we have two generations operating at once. The lunar phase family gives us the immediate personal story from February 2025 through May of 2027. Saros 138 gives this eclipse its ancient astronomical ancestry, stretching from 1521 to 2982, with tonight standing as member 29 of 82, the last partial eclipse before the bloodline enters totality. And one final distinction: the exact heat of tonight's eclipse does not remain at maximum intensity until May of 2027. But the personal developmental story illuminated tonight continues unfolding toward that last quarter checkpoint. So, if you did not finish everything tonight, calm down. The cosmic mermaid is not checking her watch and threatening to swim away at midnight, but she has surfaced long enough to show you what she has been carrying. Now, it is your responsibility to look at, name it, and decide what you intend to have completed by May 28th of 2027. And eclipses in general can have effects that go on for a couple of years. This could very well be that we will look back at this eclipse and see things that have moved or changed for us for another 18 months or 24 months. It's just the way it is. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to come here and mention this. I thought you would enjoy it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Bye now.